I tell you as mentors, don't be afraid to actually really pour into your mentees, because that fear, if you let that fester, what's going to happen, you're going to hold them down, and in essence it's going to hold you down, because you're not creating a contingency plan to keep going, because there's no one. If we're trying to create a legacy, it starts with you pouring back. Yo, what's up? This is episode 9, guys. Like, share, comment, repeat, subscribe. Thank you all for so much for being here. Thank you guys for becoming a part of the tribe and the community that we're building. I greatly do appreciate that. Just playing. But yes, last week we talked about so far as like the mentee to mentor relationship. But let's flip it on the opposite side as the mentor in your relationship with the mentees. I was having a conversation with a business owner, and two separate. I'm gonna tell you a story about both of them. The first one was a real estate photographer. 'Cause he called me, and he was shocked that I actually answered the phone. He's like, oh man, I was expecting to kind of get a voicemail or something like that, but I'm talking to you. I was like, yeah, I'm here. What's going on? He said, well, I have a question. I said, yes, what's going on? He asked a question. It came down to what type of drone that I usually use or something like that, because he's planning on switching drones and actually adding that to his real estate stuff. And I answered the question. I said, hey, well, I have the Mavic 2. I feel like it's the worst investment I've ever made, but yes, I do have it. He started laughing. He said, I can feel that for what you do, you don't use it as often. I said, yes, that is true. And he was shocked that I was actually answering his questions. He's like, I don't get this a lot from other photographers. And I was like, why is that? He's like, because it seems like in our industry that we have to hoard information. I was like, well, YouTube's free. I'm not giving you nothing different than, I'll be giving someone else. So but you're actually, explaining things. And the thing about YouTube is it's a video and it's recorded and it's done. It's not like you can actually engage and talk with that individual. I was like, yeah, that's true. And that was our conversation, and he kind of went on his way, and he said he appreciated the time and everything. And I spoke with another individual not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, and she has a business. I don't want to say what type of business because it'd be easy to kind of figure out who this individual is. And we got on a topic of having, employees. And at the time she was like, I'm getting all this stuff. Last person I got all this equipment. She used it, then she started bringing in her own type of clients and everything. And I'm just listening. I said, okay. All right, cool. That's awesome. She's like, how do you deal with that? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you have people that work with you, but how do you separate businesses? Do they have can they not have their own business? I say all of them have their own businesses. And she's like, what? It's like, yeah. I was like, now legally some of them don't, but we're working on that. We're working on getting some LLC, some people dragging their feet, they're in the room. But this way. But we're gonna get there. But everybody has their own brand, their own business. And she was kind of shocked about that. She's like, well, you actually allow them to do that. I said, yeah. So, and they can use your equipment. And he said, yeah. He said, you're not afraid of them taking clients and going. I say, a lot of them have shot my clients. She said, are you serious? Yeah, they've actually, photographed. Let me say that for the YouTube. Not shooting anyone. Just let you know, YouTube. They have photographed a lot of my clients as well. And she's like, man, that's interesting. Like, how does that work? I said, well, they're establishing their brand, I'm establishing mine, and it's an exchange. I want to see my mentees do well. So that's the point of being a mentor. Where's the point of you being a mentor if you don't want to see those individuals that you point into grow? She was like, you got a point there. I was like, So, but if you want to just be an employer, and just have employees, that's fine. But if you're trying to grow other individuals, I think that's the better way. She's like, why? She's like, why is that the better way? Well, let's look at it like this. So if I am employer and I'm working within my unit, and that employee all of a sudden leaves and goes away, then you have a hole. You have to raise up someone else. There's no loyalty within that brand. But if I am helping raise other creatives that one day, they'll go off do their own thing, if I need help, it's easy for me to reach back and pull that individual in if they have the said time. And also it creates a loyalty within the said brand. So you have that within there, because there's a lot of things that you can teach as a mentor. You can teach skill, you can teach finance, you teach all these great things when it comes to building a business, but what you can't teach is passion and loyalty to you as that mentor. You can't teach passion. So oftentimes when I am even hiring individuals, those are the first two things that I'm looking for. How loyal are you to your said brand and your said company? That's important, because if you take care of your brand, that means you're going to take very well care of mine. Same thing when it comes to when it comes to passion. Are you passionate about what you're doing? Because if there's no said passion there, that means when I'm giving you a task, there's not going to be any passion there too. So those are the kind of two things I look at the most. And I learned that from, working in the career center at the time. Like, a lot of jobs look at soft skills. They don't really kind of focus on the hard skills. They don't really focus on you coming to that said job and having everything all together. They really want to know, how do you operate and how you deal with people. Now, you do have tech jobs that you have to have some said skill, when you're becoming a doctor, you have to have some said skill. But when it comes to actually creating in a space and working with other individuals, that passion is going to be the thing that's going to be the most important. So those are the things that I look at the most when I'm hiring. And she was like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand. And I kind of see a recipe. I said, yeah. I often tell people, I said, I have a group full of misfits. It's a great thing. We all have our own individual brands, their own individual unique personalities, but that's what makes the company itself very, very unique, because everyone has their own shade. So I tell you as mentors, don't be afraid to actually really pour into your mentees, because that fear, if you let that fester, what's going to happen, you're going to hold them down, and in essence it's going to hold you down, because you're not creating a contingency plan to keep going. Because there's no one. If you're trying to create legacy, it starts with you pouring back and helping as well, because that fruit's going to come back one day. So that's all I have today. It's episode 9, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. And I'll see you all next week. Say la. All right. Drewville.